In today's video, we're going to be discussing isolating the isolated, the struggles of social
Reach for the stars, 'cause we're aiming high.
Hey everyone, it's Matt. Welcome back to another Blind to Billionaire video, and I am joined by Corey.
Hi.
We are back, your favorite YouTube couple, for another video discussing isolating the isolated. Ooh, that's riveting. What do you think?
That is riveting. It sounds both mysterious, dangerous, and maybe intriguing.
Yeah, I suppose. We actually just thought of that literally like a minute ago. We thought of that.
Matt did.
Yeah, thought it was pretty good. But anyway, we want to discuss in these situations with everything going on right now, what it's like to be like government mandate isolation of the blind and visually impaired along with everybody else who, in many of our cases, a lot of us are already feeling isolated. Thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. So it's kind of a cool perspective because what we're going to talk about is what it's like to already be sort of isolated as a blind person and now being like socially mandated to isolate, as well as, you know, now sighted people are also being socially isolated, and kind of how do we react to that when Matt's like, hey, this is old hat. You know?
Yeah, I actually talked about this in the live stream the other day, and there was a little bit of kickback, which not a whole lot, but a little bit. Like someone was suggesting that not all blind and visually impaired people are feeling isolated, and I completely agree.
Or feel isolated.
There's a ton of you out there who get out in the community just like everybody else. That's awesome, and I would definitely think that if you have the ability to do that, I mean, by all means, do it. But I also think that there's a lot of people in this community who do feel like we are isolated far more than the majority of people.
And I think that that's probably closer to accurate.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm actually loving this situation a little bit because finally everybody gets a little taste of our medicine, right? Everybody gets to feel like what it's like to be trapped at home for a week or two at a time. And I feel like in a couple weeks from now, people are going to go absolutely stir crazy. And I'm kind of loving it because it's like finally they get to experience it.
Yeah, I mean, we've actually talked about this quite a bit, like Matt and I. Like, if you could just experience what I experienced for a few days, you get why it's so important for you to like get out, go to work, go to the grocery store, go to the gym, do stuff that you do, and how sitting at home isn't really all that it's cracked up to be. And I think that that's interesting. I mean, I think this is an interesting perspective video, and it just like the world is an interesting place right now.
I actually think it's interesting because it's so funny. People who, I mean, this is not a shot on anybody who reports to work, but I feel like so many people who report to like a 40-hour-a-week job say, oh my gosh, I just can't wait for the weekend, and I just can't wait to get out of here. I can't wait for vacation. And then meanwhile, on the flip side, you have all these blind and visually impaired people who are just saying like, man, I just want to work. All I want to do is work. Like, what can I do for work? I need to get out of the house. I want to do something. I want to contribute. I want to have an income. And all these people in this community are like desperate and just want to work so bad, while all the people who are sighted or who are working a 40-hour week are just like on the flip side saying, I can't wait to get out of here. I think it's a little bit ironic and funny.
Well, I think that the idea is that like the grass is always a little greener. Now, I don't think anyone would, I'm not suggesting that it's greener or easier to be blind than to be in the workforce, like as a sighted person. So I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that flip side of that, you always think it's going to be better. Yeah,
I think it's going to be interesting in a couple weeks from now when things have progressed a little bit further and, you know, people are trapped at home a little bit more. I think everyone's going to be, like I said earlier, a little bit stir crazy. And for all those people who complained about going to work are going to be like, get me out of here. I need to go to work.
It's interesting. Today is my first, I reported to work this morning for like like an hour. And then we got sent home. And I'm not sure kind of what, I know the next 2 days what I'm doing. I know the next week kind of certain things, but it's just a lot of unknown. And I think that can be stressful for people.
Yeah.
And it's definitely stressful for me. But we're starting in Minnesota on Saturday. Well, Friday at midnight.
Well, technically Saturday.
Saturday at 12 at, whatever. All day Saturday starting. We are in a stay-at-home ordinance.
For 2 weeks?
For 2 weeks. And so we aren't allowed to really leave our house for anything that's not essential. So you can go to the post office, the grocery store, medical appointments,
You go out and walk your dog.
You can walk your dog. You can go outside and do, activities that are socially distanced 6 feet apart or more. I mean, this is like all the same stuff that everybody's doing.
Yeah.
Basically, Minnesota just got like a tighter grip on them starting Saturday.
But yeah, talking about what we suggested earlier, isolating the isolated. Is that what it was? Yeah. But anyway, so like, how does this impact us in this community? Well, a lot of us maybe are already, I mean, this might not be a change to much of our routine for some of us, but for some of us, like, let me share my experience a little bit. I don't like making my videos all about me. I really like to make it more about like the community as a whole and everybody else, but let me just share my experience.
Well, I mean, like, this is Matt's struggle, and then we want you guys to share yours.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
I want to hear yours
struggle
too. But I mean, this is like definitely my struggle too. So I had like an ongoing job every Monday, and then some other little filler jobs that we would do throughout the week whenever we'd have them. So on any given week, we'd be busy, I don't know, anywhere between like
probably 2 to 3 days a week.
2 to 3 days, probably on average. Yeah, and now everything has basically dried up. My ongoing project every Monday has ceased until further notice. And then all these other little side jobs we do.
Well, he's
nothing.
not allowed to, basically.
Not allowed to, but those have ceased. And not only that, on the days that I would have off, it was a little bit nice to just recover and not have a whole lot going on. But in addition to that, Corey and I would go to the gym usually. We like to go to the gym. We like to go to the grocery store, Target, maybe do some other errands or whatever, just run around and
go to our parents'
house. So now, without having work, without being able to essentially go to the grocery stores and think, I mean, we still can, but we're not really supposed to.
Yeah, we can't just hang out in Target anymore.
Yeah, and the gyms are closed, things like that. So now it's like, well, now what do I do?
So that's really hard. Like, because Matt doesn't have the gym. He doesn't have, I mean, the socialization that he had kind of gotten acclimated to now is, kind of dried up currently. So I'm like his only form of socializing.
Except for all of you, which we can still do.
Yes. But the other thing, Matt, that you were going to bring up is about the cane training.
What specifically?
About how it ceased to exist.
Oh, yeah. Forgot to mention that. That's true, too. Along with this somewhat of a consistent work schedule as well. I was doing O&M sessions roughly 2 times per week. Well, it was a little bit off and on the last month or two or so, just because things were going on. We were out of town with winter, weather, just busy schedule, stuff like that. But anyway, O&M sessions have completely ceased as well. My instructor said that we will not be training until further notice. So taking about a month and a half or so off of O&M instruction, which I was really looking forward to, just because I was growing so much, I was gaining so much confidence. And don't get me wrong, I can still get out and navigate around with my cane. But it's just different that everything literally in the matter of like 1 week has gone from a very busy, like I can't get everything fit into my schedule, to, wow, I have nothing to do. And I mean, it's an interesting time, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it is. And I think your story is very similar to everybody's story, cited or not. But I think that with the low vision, it's just kind of another added layer of like, oh my gosh, But also, the added layer of like, now other people kind of get it a little bit.
Yeah. Hopefully, other people will recognize what it's like to be in the position of someone that can't really get out all that easily or ever, because in a lot of these states and countries all around the world and United States, they're basically just telling people, stay home. You're not allowed to come out.
Yep. Like, our borders are still open. Like, Minnesota, you can still cross our border, but I know some places that's tightened up, and it's pretty interesting. Can I say one more random thing, Matt? I know Matt's probably just like, stop with the random stuff.
No, random stuff is
Here's what I wanted to say, because I've been watching obviously a lot more like videos online and stuff, because nothing really going on. And so today I watched Jimmy Fallon from his house. And I don't actually really honestly watch Jimmy Fallon like when he's in his studio, but I watched Jimmy Fallon and he interviewed his wife. So they like went on a walk with their selfie stick, and she was filming and he was talking as they were walking. And he was like interviewing with questions that like people had for like her, because it's more about him usually. And I was just like It was so funny because
That
I
is
was
funny.
like, and you could see the shadow of the selfie stick and the phone on them because they were like walking towards the sun.
That's funny.
And I was like, God, this is like we do this already. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's so funny. And then like Jimmy Fallon had John Legend on. So like John Legend was at his house and Jimmy Fallon was at his house, and they were like talking, you know, via Zoom or something, or however they interviewed. And it was just so funny because I was like, again, I'm like, this is like what we do. And Ellen's been like calling people, and so it's just been really fun. I think
like
for
basically
me,
everybody's
like
a YouTuber
everybody's
now.
a YouTuber. But what I think is funny is like how low budget everything feels. And I mean that I think in the best way possible, but like we have like probably the same equipment as Jimmy Fallon appears to have at his home. And it's like really fun to just see like how this looks. And I just thought I'd mention that because I've just been super enjoying this, honestly, like watching people just try their best.
Yeah. It is pretty funny because you see these people on TV and it's like, wow, that's like a really nice, polished broadcast.
The
monologue,
color's good,
everything's
the lighting's
perfect.
good.
And then when they're outside of their studio, it's like, you guys are no better than us.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
like,
seriously, we're just kind of whipping these videos together. I mean, we're doing our best, but we're certainly not professionals.
Yeah, it's just really fun.
It's pretty funny.
It's been like really fun to watch people like in their natural habitats, kind of.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because I'm sitting here thinking, we've been doing so many live streams lately, and I keep thinking, like, Corey, read the chat. Come on, Corey, read the chat.
Like, what are
They're
people
probably-
saying?
Stop talking. They're probably asking questions. But really, I'm forgetting this is actually just a video.
I know we've been live streaming a little more, and so I do think we need
I think we're going to do more live streams in the next couple of weeks if we don't have much going on. I mean, it's so much fun to connect with everybody.
Well, we have a live stream Saturday.
Yeah, if
So
you're
let's mention that
available.
quick.
Yeah, huge shout out to Sam from The Blind Life. He's hosting a live stream over on his channel as a collaboration with us. So we're really excited about that. We're not going to announce it, what the topic is quite yet. I'll leave that up to Sam to announce it, but it's going to be funny, and I think all of you can relate. So be sure to join us on Saturday. It is at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, and what is that, noon for you Pacific people?
I don't know.
Yeah, it is. So anyway, over on Sam's channel, The Blind Life, I'm sure all of you know him.
Yeah, so it'll be really fun.
Yeah.
It'll be fun to do, you know,
Anyway,
a live stream. And
we don't want to make this video all about like the virus and stuff like that, but you know what? I mean, it's kind of the times right now, so kind of need to capitalize on it a little bit.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
Okay, another thing I want to bring into this topic. So we've talked about struggling times. We've talked about how it's like changing in a negative way, like what it's like. But also, this is an opportunity for you guys to try some new things, pick up on old stuff. I mean, we've kind of brought this up a few times, but we might make a video separately about that kind of concept.
Yeah.
But just also remember that this is a special time where you get to spend like more quality time with the people who live in your house, which is a special blessing that we always wish we could have. And it's a time to maybe like clean up your house or like get some stuff done. Call people. Like I've actually phoned my parents and my sister, sorry brothers, more times in the last couple of days than I have probably in like a month.
And by the
like
way, when
3
Corey
months.
says she's phoned people, she never calls anyone but me. When we can be in a situation like let me give an example. We're traveling. We travel with Corey's parents every so often. We travel with her family, and we're all waiting somewhere, or we're like in somewhat of a time crunch. And I'm like, we're standing around waiting or, you know, whatever. And Corey pulls out her phone and starts texting people. And I say, dude, we have like 30 seconds. Call them. Stop texting. Call them. And she won't call. She never calls anyone but me.
I call Matt, but I call Matt. How many times a day, Matt?
I think she's
plus?
called at least 3 times already today. By the way, a little secret, just in case you're wondering, this is basically a live stream because it's like 11:30 right now. And this video needs to be up and published in an hour and a half. So we should probably stop talking.
Pretty soon.
So just to let you know, this is basically a live stream because this is Thursday at about 11:30 Central Time.
Yep. But I called my sister-in-law today, Melly. My sister-in-law to be.
Yeah.
I talked to Melly today.
That's good.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, thanks everybody for watching this. We'll see you on the live stream on Saturday.
Yes.
Right?
Thank you.
All right. See you, everybody. Thanks for watching this video.
Bye.
See ya.
You can't wait to see me now, 'cause lately you've been feeling down.